Imagine a city square. Two stone statues of women stand in the open, beautiful faces, but empty, lifeless eyes, fixed on the temple of the goddess of love. No one remembers when they were human. And yet, from these cold bodies, the story of Pygmalion begins. A man who moves from humiliation and hatred toward a miracle called love. On the island of Cyprus, near the foaming shores where Aphrodite was once born from the sea, there stood a city of wine, music, and half-hidden glances. In that city lived an aristocrat named Propœtides, with two daughters whose beauty filled every street, Lyra and Thalia. Wherever they walked, heads turned. Thin fabrics, loud laughter, and eyes that knew exactly how to invite desire. And in the same city lived a sculptor named Pygmalion. They said his hands were so skilled that stone softened beneath his touch. For years, in silence, he loved Lyra. And by cruel fortune, Lyra accepted his love, but not in the way he had hoped. To Pygmalion, she was the beloved. To Lyra, he was only one among many. At first, he refused to believe it. He ignored the whispers. He dismissed the lingering looks of other men as nothing more than his own jealousy. Until one night, the signs became impossible to deny. Days later, by the city's fountain, the place where they once met in secret, Pygmalion decided to speak. Lyra and Thalia sat nearby with several young men laughing. Pygmalion stepped forward and called Lyra's name. The others drifted back, watching. Without poetry, without drama, he spoke.
Lyra, I know you are not only with me. I do not wish to own you, but I cannot share you with everyone.
Lyra, drunk and fearless, only shrugged. She told him that if he couldn't accept who she was, he was free to leave. Pygmalion hesitated. Then he asked for one last thing. Not love, not loyalty, not possession. He asked her to swear, before Aphrodite, goddess of desire, that she would at least honor herself, that her body would not be offered carelessly to everyone who asked. Thalia, Lyra's sister, laughed loudly, making sure others could hear. She said,
"Their bodies are temples to no god. They belong only to themselves."
Lyra continued, her voice steady, unapologetic.
I choose my lovers freely. Tonight one, tomorrow another. That is my freedom. No goddess will write laws for my pleasure.
Some laughed. Others glanced nervously toward the statue of Aphrodite on the temple steps. Pygmalion stood there, stunned. He turned his gaze away and left. In that moment, he decided the relationship was over. That very night, in the temple of Aphrodite, the priests whispered in panic. The torches flickered without wind. The goddess's shadow stretched unnaturally along the walls. And for a brief moment, her stone eyes seemed to gleam. From that night on, Lyra and Thalia changed. At first, they simply became bolder, careless about how many they took to their beds, careless about who watched, careless about what the city would say. Their nights drifted into darker rooms, longer touches, faces that no longer mattered. Pygmalion saw everything from a distance. He told himself it was over. But anyone who has ever loved knows this truth. The eyes do not forget so easily. Something else began to follow him. No longer pain, but hatred. And Aphrodite's curse was not only in behavior, it lived in the body. Each time Lyra surrendered herself without feeling, something inside her slowed. Her fingertips began to lose sensation. The stone beneath her bare feet felt colder than it should. Parts of her skin hardened, like marble newly polished. Thalia felt it too. The more they gave themselves to this freedom, the less they felt anything at all. Pleasure faded into repetition. In private, they sensed something was dying. One morning, as the sun rose, a scream echoed through the square. People gathered. On the steps of Aphrodite's temple stood two female figures. Naked, exposed, perfectly formed, and entirely stone. No one asked what had happened. Everyone knew. Pygmalion stood among the crowd, silent. Inside him, two things burned at once: a love that refused to die, and a hatred that had finally taken shape. That day, he swore never to marry. Yet Lyra would not leave his mind. Her smile, her body, the space she left behind, and to escape her, he chose the only path that remained. If living women brought him suffering, he would create one who could never betray him.